Star Wars 7x7 episode 2283. In a new What to Watch Now installment, there is a thing that IO9 had exclusively apparently, but maybe not. And maybe that's digressing. What it has to do with is the Mandalorian pre-visualization, and actually kind of talks more about the possibility of Star Wars storytelling than just the pre-visualization stuff. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy. And thank you so much for joining me for it. So, we've talked in the past about the Mandalorian and the behind the scenes stuff, how they made it and so forth. And one of the things that we've talked about is the pre-visualization, which is basically animation showing what would happen on screen in the Mandalorian. And so this was what they used to kind of do all their scene planning, all their blocking, all the special effects that they knew that they would need, all the motion capture stuff that they knew they would need, all of these things, trying to plan as much in advance as possible, and then being able to develop the backgrounds they would need in the volume, like in that crazy unique space indoors for shooting all the environments that they needed to shoot. So there's a really brief video on IO9, and I will link to it in the notes for the blog post for this show's episode, and I'll also include it in the metadata for the MP3 file as well if you're the downloading kind. And the deal with it is that it shows you comparisons between the pre-visualization, the animated storyboards, if you will, for so many different scenes in The Mandalorian, and compares them with what they looked like in the actual final version of the show. So you can see how these things developed and what they were initially as the creators of the show were conceiving of them and as the directors were trying to figure out how to bring these scripts to life. Now, it's not necessarily going to reveal anything new about Season 1 of The Mandalorian other than just to blow your mind with the technical wizardry that's at work, and it will also give you an idea of what they have done in order to bring Season 2 to us, and it will also give you an indication of what can be happening right now as they are in development for Season 3, knowing that with the coronavirus pandemic happening, that film production is shut down, hoping to restart in the near future, but they can still work, and they can actually do significant work with the pre-production thanks to this incredible technology. And that story on IO9 that includes that particular pre-visualization reel also links to another story on IO9 that has a visual effects breakdown video. And that one, that's also pretty amazing. I will say that somehow just the way that that particular video is delivered, like everything transitions so quickly that you don't necessarily get to see or really to feel how remarkable the work is that they do. It's just kind of wipe over a scene, and it's pretty quick, and you're like, what are they doing? What's happening? I feel like it was actually, done almost at the same pace as that pre-visualization video, except that I feel like we don't necessarily learn quite as much somehow. Maybe it's because it seems like there's just so much more technically that goes in from getting to one state to the other in that visual effects breakdown reel, but still fascinating nonetheless. And if you're looking for another way that you can enjoy Ludwig Göransson's wonderful Emmy award-winning music for The Mandalorian, well, both of those videos are set to music from The Mandalorian as well, so that's good fun too. There is something particularly remarkable also about the pre-visualization example video that I wanted to share with you as well, and before I do that, I want to give a quick request and favor. If you have not reviewed the show or rated it on your favorite podcast app, I hope you will do that, please. If you enjoy the show and you think it's worth your time and you think it's worth the time of other Star Wars fans who might be looking for a dose of Star Wars joy on their favorite podcast app, then I hope you will help other people find the show by giving it a good rating and giving it a quick 1 or 2 sentence review. Longer if you feel like it, if you if the spirit moves you. But once again, just thank you very much for considering it and for your support of the show. So the pre-visualization thing is that it looks kind of similar to my untrained eye to the story reels that were produced by Lucasfilm for the Clone Wars Legacy project. And of course, they've shown story reels for other things too, but in particular, what I'm thinking is that after season 6 of the Clone Wars finished and there were all these other unproduced Clone Wars story arcs and whatnot, some of those things had made it as far as a story reel stage with some preliminary animation done to it, and Lucasfilm actually released some of those episodes with actors from the Clone Wars doing the voices of their characters, so you get the full effect of it from the voice performance perspective, but obviously the animation is not nearly finished. However, it looks kind of similar to the kind of animation that you see in the pre-visualization stuff for The Mandalorian. So I guess where I'm going with this is that if we are to be in an extensive, even longer shutdown for film and television production, that animation sure still seems like it's a viable situation. And let's not forget that some of the longest running television programs for adults are animated television programs. The Simpsons, of course, being, the king of all of them. So just something to kind of keep in the back of your head a little bit. And that's where I'm going to leave things today. Check out those two videos, the pre-visualization video and the visual effects breakdown. I will again link to them in the blog post for this show's episode and also in the metadata for the MP3 for the show as well. That's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, as always, and may the Force be with you, wherever in the world you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2020 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.